If you are looking to run YouTube ads, then you are in the right place. There are many different wrong ways to set up a YouTube ads campaign that can cost you lots of money. But in today's video, we're going to be walking through exactly how to set up an optimized YouTube ads campaign that gets you the best possible results for your business. I will even be showing you a quick way to use AI to create YouTube videos fast, which can be a huge unlock when you're scaling something like this. Now, the first thing that you will need in order to set up a YouTube ads campaign is a Google Ads account. It is run through the Google Ads account. So go to Google Ads, or I'll leave a link down below where you can sign up for Google Ads if you don't already have an account. The second thing that you will need is a YouTube account. Now, this can be a YouTube business account, or it can just be a personal one. It just needs to be a place where you can upload an unlisted video. It doesn't even need to be public on that profile. So I'll be showing you what I mean here in a little bit later and show you exactly how that works, but you do need to have a Google Ads account and a YouTube account in order to run YouTube ads. Now, once you have your Google Ads account all created, this is kind of what it will look like. You can see this one that has a little bit of data inside of here. What we're going to do in order to create a YouTube ads campaign is we're going to click on either this blue button right here or this one up here in the top that says create. So we're going to come over here and hit create here, and then we're going to create a new campaign. It's then going to ask for a campaign objective. For YouTube ads, I like to actually choose this create campaign without guidance. The reason why I like to do this is because you'll see here in a minute, if you create without guidance, it gives you more option and more flexibility. Whereas if you choose one of these, it will pigeonhole you a little bit and it doesn't actually help with the optimization or anything like that. Let me show you what I mean. So if I choose leads here and I go to continue and I choose a YouTube campaign, you'll see here that there's no other options after this point and I can just hit continue. Whereas if I hit create without campaign guidance and then I choose the video options, now I can choose what's called a campaign subtype. And this is really important because you want to choose the right one that's best for you. Now, a lot of people have questions at this point on which campaign subtype is best for them. And to be honest with you, for majority of the people, you're going to want to choose either video views or drive conversion. And then there are a few that would probably be good to do the video reach. Let me go through really quickly on which may be best for you depending on your situation. So here's a little cheat sheet on which campaign subtypes you should use or consider. As I mentioned, most people are going to want it with the video views or with the drive conversions. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'll leave the link to this down below so you can just go and look at it. But when you're going to want to use video views is basically when you're just getting started off, because it's a great way to get cheap views and test things out. Like you're wanting to get the most effective reach and distribution, you're testing hooks, creators, or new video concepts, and then you're building like audiences and want to drive conversions. You want to avoid this one if you need like conversions right away. But with YouTube, you'll notice it's more of a top of funnel action. So you do need to kind of nurture that a little bit. But if you're needing conversions right away, you're going to want to go with the drive conversions, but you're going to want to make sure that you have at least 30 weekly conversions in order to start running that. So just a heads up there. A lot of people are like, oh, I just want to go conversions, but a lot of times that's a mistake just because you don't have enough data for Google to find those people that are going to actually convert for your business. Now, regardless of which one of these you choose, the setup is going to be very similar. So we're going to be going with the video views. And as I mentioned, that's what I recommend most people start off with, just because it's the most beginner friendly. So then we're going to hit continue here. And now it is going to ask for our campaign name. Now, a little bit of a spoiler, but when I'm setting up campaigns, I like to do one of three kind of campaign strategies, if you will. The first one is a broad learning campaign that utilizes optimized targeting with something called affinity audiences and life events, which I'll show you how to set up in a minute. The second one is more of a high intent, custom intent campaign that targets search terms and then also competitors' URLs. And the last one is remarketing. So you can see it's kind of like a funnel approach here. So I like to name it something like this: the platform that we're on, so YouTube, and then the targeting that I'm going to be doing, broad targeting, and then the location that I'm going to be targeting. So I just like to add the little dashes there. You can name this whatever you want. That's just what I like to do to keep it clean, especially as I'm managing lots of different accounts here. Next, we have the ad format. Now, if you are just getting started, I would recommend keeping all of these checked. If you aren't sure which one of each one of these do, you can see the skippable, play before, after, or during a video. After 5 seconds, you usually have the option to skip the ad. The next one is the in-feed ads. So these are at least 7 seconds long and consist of videos, thumbnails, and some text. Users can watch the video ad autoplay inline or click on the thumbnail to watch the ad on your videos. And then you have YouTube Shorts, which is kind of like the TikTok competitor. You've probably seen those. So I would recommend keeping all of these on to begin with, because YouTube is going to find where your audience is at and target them. As you start to get more data, you can opt out of some of these, but you can see using all of them does give you 40% more views. So leave those all checked there. The bidding strategy, we're going to leave the bidding strategy as is the target CPV here. If you are using drive conversions, you can optimize for the conversions, as I mentioned, but for this one, we're going to stay on the target cost per view. And now we have the budgets and dates. There are two different options you have here. You can either do a campaign total or a daily budget. I prefer to do the daily budget because if a campaign is working, I don't like it to end and then I don't have the option to continue to run that one. So I like to run a daily budget, and here you can do whatever you want. You can start with as little as $5 a day, or you could even scale this up. If you already have an account and an established brand, you can go like as much as $500 a day. For this one, we're going to keep it at just that $5 a day mark. For most people just getting started, if you have no idea what budget to go off of, I would probably recommend anywhere from $15 to $25 a day to kind of test the results, see what they look like, and then you can decide whether you want to scale up or down from there. And then we move on to the next one in this network setting. And this is one of the kind of got you settings that YouTube has, or Google has in here. And this is one that I like to opt out of. I've run lots of different tests and I don't like the video partners and Google Display Network. I only want to show up on YouTube specifically. I don't want to show up on all these other networks. These are ones that can show up kind of on the side of blogs and things like that and videos. I want to show up on videos when people are watching videos that are relevant to my content or what I'm trying to sell. And then next we have the locations. We are going to be targeting the United States. You can change the locations here to whatever you wanted. You can do advanced search and do even like zip codes and things like that. You can even do radius targeting. So if you say you have a local business that's doing like local services, you could do a radius 20 miles around your business if you wanted to go that route. But for me, we're going to keep it really simple and keep it targeting all of the United States. You can change the languages here. I like to keep this actually on all languages just to have a broader reach because a lot of people speak multiple languages, but you can change this to whatever the ad your language is in. And then next here for the EU political ads, most of you, my guess is you're not running EU political ads, so you're going to put no to that. Okay, and right underneath here, we have the related videos. Now, this is a little bit newer of a feature that actually is kind of cool. What this allows you to do is if you click here on the little learn more, is you have your main video playing here inside of YouTube, and then down below, it can actually show related videos to that content. Say that you have an electric fireplace, the example that we're going to be going over today, and I have 3 or 4 videos for that electric fireplace. I could have the main one be the one that I'm showing to people, but then underneath there could be maybe a video on how to install the electric fireplace or common FAQ for the fireplace that I could put in a sequence here. So I could put here, I would have my main video, and then on 1 and 2, I could add those other ones inside of there. So I'm not going to actually set up the related videos here, but it's a feature that I want you to know that could be a good option. And next right here, there's this little button for additional settings that Google likes to hide. And this is something that I want you to be aware of as well, because here you can actually change the devices. So if you wanted to show up on all devices, you could keep this here. I personally like to not show up on TV screens. Depending on your brand, you may want to show up on those, but if I'm wanting to get views and possibly people that can click and actually convert, then I like to show up on computers, mobile phones, and tablets. The chances of somebody clicking on your ad from a TV screen are just really low. So I like to opt out of that. And then the other thing that I like to do here is the frequency cap. Now, the frequency cap is the amount of times that an ad can be shown to somebody. And in here, you have 2 different settings, and they kind of sound like the same thing, but they're not. The first one is the cap impression frequency, and the second one is the cap view frequency. Now, the cap impression just means that the ad was shown to that person. It doesn't mean they actually viewed it or watched it. Google defines a view. You can click here. They've defined view usually as someone who watched it for at least 30 seconds of your video, or if the duration is shorter than 30 seconds, then they interacted with that video, whatever one comes first. So if you wanted to make sure, if somebody's just getting shown your ad a bunch of times and they're not interacting with it, you may want to set a cap. So you can choose one of these. I personally like to go with the cap impression frequency, because if somebody's seeing my ad multiple times and they're not interacting, it means that it's probably not the right person to be showing the ad to. So I like to set a cap frequency at, around 4 per day. If you wanted to, you could set this per week or per month as well. This is honestly probably a little bit loose as well. If you wanted to get even tighter, you could do like 1 or 2, but I wouldn't recommend going less than 1 per day, because with these YouTube ads, you are just wanting to really get your brand out there to the right people. So I like to set this at a 4 per day per person. And this is something that I like to do just because if you don't do this, your ad could technically be shown to the same person a billion times and you would really have no control over that. So I like to set the frequency cap there, and then we can collapse this. And next, you can set a schedule if you wanted to, but I'm gonna leave it on all days here. And then for the third-party measurements, most people won't have to worry about those. And now we actually move on to what's called the ad group settings. So here you have the campaign settings, and then we're gonna move on to the ad group. All right, and this is where we start to get into the fun things where we can actually target people and the strategy with this. Now, looking back at this sheet, this is kind of the setup that I like to do. I like to have a broad campaign that has 3 different ad groups inside of it. It will have the same creative in there, the same kind of ad, but it will be targeting 3 different audiences so that we can understand which one of these is going to convert the best. So for this first one is the optimized targeting. And what I like to do with this is there are lots of different ways that you can target audiences, but what I like to do is come over here to the actual audiences, click this down. So here you can choose the demographics here. We're going to leave all of these open, and there's even additional demographics where you can target based on parental status or household income. But for me, we're going to come down here and we're going to come to the interest and behavior, and we're going to do a keyword search. For us is fireplaces. And so I'm going to type this in, and I recommend you doing this with whatever your product or service is. If you're going for lead gen, then you can type in like HVAC services or junk removal, things like that. And you can see inside of this interest and detailed demographics, Google has like bucketed people already into what they call in-market audiences, or there are other types of audiences as well, like called affinity audiences. An in-market audience is people who are actively searching for that thing. An affinity audience is people whose previous behavior indicates that they are interested in those things. For example, home decor enthusiast. Maybe a lot of my search terms indicate that I'm a home decor enthusiast, but it doesn't mean that I'm currently in the market for any home decor. Whereas with home decor, this in market, that means I'm currently shopping for, my searches indicate that I'm ready to buy that. So obviously, if you have a product or service and you can find one that's in market, that is going to be a great bet for you to start off with. And in my case, I'm lucky here because I have this electric fireplace that I can target here. So we're going to add that inside of this ad group. Now for these additional interests, if you wanted to come in here and also add more, like say fireplace design in market for some of these other things, you could do that. What I don't recommend is using multiple targeting options to begin with, because you want to understand which audiences are actually driving users. And what I mean by that is you can see I can target by interest and demographics, but then I could also come down here and I could target by keywords, topics, placements, or even by my own data. Like if I wanted to target people who have hit my blog here, you could do that as well. But that's where I recommend creating an ad group for each one of those audience targeting. And it comes back to this setup right here. So this first one is going to be our optimized targeting. And for most people, this is going to be an in-market audience. So I should probably put that there, in-market audience here. So what I'm going to do is come back over here and I'm going to name this ad group. We're going to call this in-market and then electric fireplace. That way we know exactly what this audience is currently targeting. And then I'll show you how to quickly come back here and also create these different ad groups as well. And of course, if you didn't want to do audience testing to begin with, then you don't have to do that either. You could just come in and add a lot of these different audiences and kind of see what works. But for this one, we're going to go with the in-market audience here. And one other thing that you can do if you click on this additional audience segments here is you do have custom search terms or you have exclusions. This is really handy if you wanted to add an exclusion list of people who have already bought or people who have already filled out a form on your website. You could come in here and you can add a specific exclusion list based on your website traffic or based off of users' purchase history. And then below here, you have the keywords, topics, and placements, and we'll come back and I'll show you how to add these in your next layer of ad groups if you wanted to. All right, so now we actually get to the ad creation part. And as I mentioned before, you do have to have the video uploaded into YouTube in order to run it as a YouTube ad. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up. And especially before the age of AI, it was very hard to create a YouTube video and it took a lot of time. But today I'm going to show you a shortcut how to create a ton of videos that are actually good and high converting. And the tool that I personally like to use is one called Creatify. All right, and with Creatify, it's crazy. Basically, all you need to do is give it an image. You don't even need any footage, and you can use the Sora 2 model, give it a little prompt here. So create me a YouTube style video with a strong hook that catches attention and fast-paced video for retention. So that's the script that I use. You can copy that and use that. And then all you need to do is give it an image here. So I gave it this image, and this is what it pops out here. You can set the resolution and the length as well down here, but this is what it ends up giving you just with that small amount of work.
Stop scrolling. This hoodie hits different. Veteran owned, American made, built for the everyday grind. Premium cotton blend, soft, tough, breathable, limited drop. Link in the description. Rep the flag your way. Get yours now.
So that is just how easy it is to create a video. So let me show you exactly how this process works and how you can create something just like this. So when you get started with Creatify, you can get a free plan down below so you can start playing around with it for yourself. But once you're inside of here, what you're going to want to do is come over here to the asset generator, and then you want to go over here to the generate type, and you want this to be image to video. From here, you want to make sure that you're using the Sora 2 model. This is the best model to use. And then from here, we're going to give our same little prompt. Okay, so this is the prompt that we're going to give it. Create me a YouTube style video with a strong hook and fast-paced retention. And then from here, we can either upload a video or you can grab what's called your smart assets. So we're going to upload the image here real quick. So for this, we're going to give it a picture of an electric fireplace here. We're going to put it on the YouTube horizontal settings. You can do vertical videos with these, and we're going to do 12 seconds, and then we're going to generate. We'll come back here. It takes around 120 seconds to get this up, but you can see just how easy it is to get YouTube videos cranked out. And the great thing about this is you can test a lot of different variants with this method. All right, so now after about 3 or 4 minutes, this is the output.
Want the look of a real fire without the smoke and hassle? Check this out. 5 levels of vivid, color-rich flames that feel incredibly real. Use it all year long. Heater on or off with a quick tap or the included remote.
So you can see there, that is just a quick little ad. And if you needed longer scripts or even to give it an exact script, you can do that with Creatify, but we're going to download this right now. If you wanted to have more of a polished script, you can come over here and you can do product to video, and you can even clone yourself and have an AI actually go through and create the video. There's some crazy things you do with that, but this is the most useful feature that I use to crank out YouTube ads really quickly. Or if you need inspiration, you come into this inspiration tab and you can actually scroll through and look at the ads of the week. And if you wanted to take the format of this specific ad, you can actually just click here, clone this ad, and it will make a replica of that ad. It's pretty crazy. So once we have that video ready, we now need to go into our YouTube account and actually upload it. In order to get to your YouTube account, you just go to YouTube and then you come over here to YouTube Studios, and you'll see the little thing up here. This is a YouTube Studios, and it'll take you to a view like this where you can come over to content and you can click create content and then upload the video. We're going to select the file that we have here. All right, and from here, we're going to give this just a quick little title in the description. These you don't have to worry about because people, if you're running them as ads, they're not going to see these. And you don't even need to give this a thumbnail either because once again, as an ad, they're not going to see it. Then you're going to scroll down here and then make sure that these are checked, and then you can go through and check these as well. And then you're going to hit next. And what you want to do is you don't have this monetization option if it's a brand new channel, but you can hit next here. And then we're going to choose off on this one, then done, and then next. You can add video elements if you want, but chances are you probably don't need to. And then we're going to come over over here and hit next. And what you want to do is if you want to run this as an ad and you don't want it to show up publicly on your YouTube profile, then you want to run this as an unlisted. If you want it to show up on your YouTube profile as well, you can click here and have it be public. And by the way, if it is public and you are running it as a YouTube ad, the views and the comments and things will show up on that video organically, which is kind of nice. But for most people, if you're running it as an ad, you're going to want this unlisted link right here, and we're going to hit save. And once we have that saved, then give us a little link here, so we can click on this little button here and get shareable link. From here, you'll notice that it says unlisted, which means only if somebody has that link, they can get to this video. And we come back over here to our YouTube campaign and we can paste that in. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to be live. You can see right now it's giving me kind of this look right here because it's taking a little bit of time, but our video is now ready to start being shown as an ad. And then next, what you need to do is come down here and add a long headline. So this one just says, enjoy cozy warmth with clean style fireplace. So just go through and write headlines that are under 90 characters. I do like to add a call to action here. So this can be learn more, shop now, whatever you want it to be, or you can add your brand name there as well. And if you wanted to see a preview of what this ad would look like, you can scroll through here. Right now, the ad you can see is still kind of loading, so it's giving us a screen. But now that I've gone through and refreshed that, this is a preview of what the ad will look like and how people will see it on their devices. You can see that looks really clean, really good kind of type of ad. And then from here, the last thing that we need to do is to actually type in our bid. Now, for most people, you're probably going to want to start off at a bid or a cost per view around 5 cents, not $5. The cost for these is going to be in the cents. So you're going to be looking around 5 cents. I would start with that. If you're not getting impressions or views, then you can increase your bid from there. But the average that I see is around 3 cents, I probably would say is the average. So that's what I would start off with. And then now you're pretty much good to go. You can give this an ad a name if you want to, but we're going to hit create campaign. And I want to show you now how to go through and create more ad groups if you wanted to go with that route. All right. So after you have this is what it's going to look like. It's going to go under review for a little bit. You can see we have our campaign here, YouTube broad targeting. Now, if I wanted to come back over here to my campaigns and then click in this, you can see this is the campaign level. If I wanted to click inside of here, now I have my ad groups. And this is the one that we created to begin with. This is the first one, the broad campaign, and then the ad group. If I wanted to create a high intent campaign, I would come back over here to the top and create a brand new campaign. If I wanted to test new audiences with my top of funnel kind of broad targeting, I would come in here to the ad group level of this campaign and I would hit create here. And then now I'm inside of the same campaign and I want to rename the ad group here. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to call this one ad group affinity audience just for kicks and giggles. We'll put that in there. And then now this is where you can test a different audience. So with this one, say that I wanted to come in here to the interest and behavior. And now I type in fireplace and I can find maybe a different audience that I want to target, or I can target an affinity audience of people who are interested in home renovation or renovating home soon or a life event or something like that. Or you can even come down here and you can target based off of specific keywords. So I could target people who are looking for best fireplace or best electric fireplace, and it will actually target people who are looking for those specific keywords. Another really powerful targeting option that is available is also placements. And inside of here, you can actually target specific YouTube channels. So if you come in here and you wanted to target Zoco Marketing, for example, and run ads on people who are going to the Zoco Marketing YouTube channel, you can click on here and actually target those specific things. Now you're going to need a certain amount of channels in order to target that, but it is another option for you to create multiple ad groups. As I mentioned, I don't recommend mixing and matching a lot of these in one ad group, but you can kind of build one that's based off of interest, one that's based off of your data, one that's based off of keywords, and one that's based off of placements and targets. And basically in order to do that, you just take this and then create a new ad group every single time inside of there. And it makes it really easy to go through and build that and test lots of different audiences. And now that your campaigns are live, it is honestly just the beginning of this journey. You're going to want to be making sure that you're paying attention to your account on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis. And some of the things that I like to look into is I like to check the click-through rate and the conversion rate every week to see where that's at and make adjustments. I like to pause underperforming audiences. I like to move the top audiences into scaling campaigns and then test new hooks and intros every week. And especially with something like Creatify, it makes it really easy to pump out videos, as you saw. So out of anything that you can do, testing a lot of creative is going to be the thing that's going to get you the best results, because at the end of the day, that's what users are actually seeing and what's going to get them to convert. And then finally, you're going to want to review your search categories and placements. If you wanted to learn more about these optimizations, be sure to subscribe to the channel because I have more videos talking about what happens after the YouTube ads are created. But that's everything for this video. We'll see you in the next one.